Hello Dongers, I hope you're doing good today. And today we will be focusing on hatching eggs in Spellborne, because hatching eggs in Spellborne is the key to victory. In this video I will explain how you can view the individual stats of your monsters and how to increase them through breeding to create an extremely powerful monster for PvP or even trading. And if you have no idea what a Spellborne is, just take a few seconds, and if you know what a Spellborne is, just skip to the next part of the video. It is a little bit like Pokémon, but the coolest part is the game is completely online. So all the noobs surrounding me are real players. You have an inventory system, you have a farm system, you can walk, you can trade, you can evolve your monsters. Yeah, we call them monsters, not and yeah, you can give them different names, different abilities, new moves, you name it. In my opinion, Spellborne is the monster catching or Pokemon-like game we've ever wanted to see on our screens. But sadly, the Pokemon company or Nintendo, I don't know who is behind all this stuff, have sadly a different opinion that we as a community, I don't know, because it's so easy money for them to create a Pokemon MMO. They sadly never did, but this is also no problem, because today we have Spellborne. It's for free and you don't need to download it because it's completely on Web3. So just click the link on my description and you are into it. So why is hatching eggs in Spellborne so important? Every monster you catch in the wild has some different stats. So for example, this Pandoro has HP 33 and SP 21 and ATK, so attack 25. So you have all of these different stats, and together you have a BST of 180. And yeah, this poor snake has only 99. This is very bad for fighting, for trading and for PvP. Oh, but this armor drill here has 194, and this armor drill is nearly dead. And the same stat problem we have with this Pantero. I mean, it has 0 ATK. As you can see, it's really cool that each monster has its own unique stats. To increase these stats and create an even stronger monster, we need breeding. For sure, Dongers, I tried breeding myself and even managed to hatch a Pandero with a BST of over 210. But more on that later. This video is like a tutorial to explain you how the breeding process works. I don't need to explain the first step for long, because all monster stats in the wild are random. It's like playing a casino. Maybe you have luck and you hit some very nice encounter with good stats, or you're a little bit unlucky and you got only trash monsters. So head into the wild and catch as many monsters as you want that interests you. There's also an item that gives you instant insight into a wild monster stats during an encounter, the Eye of Athena. It's a bit expensive, but it allows you to catch monsters more strategically. However, I don't use it, I just catch monsters freely. And it has a 5-minute use case. And the Eye of Athena has a self-destruction mode, because after 5 minutes your Eye of Athena is done and you need to use another Eye of Athena, and that's the reason why it's expensive. Now it's time for step number 2. After catching some great monsters, you can check their stats at the daycare. Now you have all your monsters spread out here in the daycare. I recommend to you using the filter and sorting it to BST. So click on the filter and go on sorting order and click on BST. Also, monsters with a very low BST have a use case. First, you can exchange them for... Oh my holy show, my Electrobar has only 91. Whoa, that's pretty bad. Whoa. Because, yeah, you can exchange your monsters for tokens. So, for example, we take this armor drill and free into the wild. And now we have a 50% chance to get a token. And, yeah, 50%... Is not hitting. Now we try it again. Free peddler. Come on, yeah, and we got a soul. Right now we have the soul exchange event. This event is very common in the Spellborne game and it runs over months. So you just free monsters from your daycare and you get with the 50% chance a soul shard. If you have enough soul shards, you can exchange your soul shards for a unique monster. And yeah, the sad part is, yeah, I did that earlier and got this here. But I was lucky with the duck. It's fine, I think. The second thing you can do with your low-level monsters, instead of bringing them back into the wild and earning a soul shard, you can breed them too. It's fine, because you can increase your breeding skill. Now you know that too, so it's your decision what you do with your low-level BST monsters. And we move on to step 3. You always need a male and a female to breed. Otherwise, you can't create a new monster. The two parents attempt to merge their strands together, but are lost in the process. For this reason, you must carefully decide which monster you want to breed. So it's like a fusion. You bring two parents into the fusion and you got one egg. So they fuse together and the outcome is one egg. In my case, I choose to breed a Pantero. Why, you asked? It's very simple. I had a good male and a good female that complemented each other well. That means every monster has a weakness and you need to balance them out when breeding. The outcome is also influenced by luck, but you can adjust several things before the new monster is born. Now we go straight into the breeding. Here we will now use my Pantero as an example. First, you put the male and the female in the two slots. As you can see, my female Pantero is very good, but when it comes to speed, it is far inferior to the male one. This means that the egg of the two Panteros will receive a random speed value based on both parents' stats. The female has 9 speed and the male has over 30 speed, so the egg will get a value somewhere between 9 and 30. And this is the reason why I choose this female and this male, because the male has over 30 speed and the female has sadly 9 speed. But this helps balance out the female speed because the male speed can benefit the egg as well. So we use the speed power from the male to complement the weakness of the female speed. Then, when we have another option where we don't have to rely on luck, the female has a very good attack value, which is important for Pantero, as it mostly uses attacks that benefit from physical damage. Unfortunately, the male has a poor attack value, so I didn't want to take any risk here and decide to pass on the male's good value to the egg, rather than relying on luck. For this, you can buy an item in the store for 100 gold, which you can give to a monster before breeding. This item ensures that the egg created by the two parents during breeding will 100% inherit the chosen stat. So I bought an item for 100 gold, which ensures that my egg will 100% inherit the female's values, including his attack stat. So in this case, only the attack stat, because we can only choose one stat. And I decide to choose the attack stat because the female has a very good attack stat. So there was a high risk involved if I decide to not use the item. So I gave the item to my female Pantero before breeding to ensure that the attack stat would remain and not be randomly selected between the male and the female. Now you can also see in the egg in the middle that the attack stat is 41 and it's glowing green. This means the egg will 100% have an attack stat of 41. So the female attack is saved through the use of the item. The rest is random, but for the most part the stats here don't have a huge difference. So I'm not really taking a huge risk. I could have bought the same item for the speed stat, but I decide to leave that to the random chance and not spend another 100 gold, since I had already planned those 100 gold for something else. This means that you can only give one item to a monster at a time. Since we need 2 monsters for breeding, both monsters can secure 1 stat with their items if you buy an item, but both items and both monsters are lost during the breeding process. So your items are gone and the monsters are gone. I think there's not much more to say about breeding. Simply put, you can craft your monsters to become stronger. The goal of breeding is to eliminate the weakness of the other monster. In high-end breeding, the difference becomes smaller and the stats are closer together. However, you can also take risks and rely on luck. That's what makes breeding exciting. Otherwise, I appreciate a like and a subscription to the Don Guys channel. I also have an X account where I keep you up to date. Thank you for listening and Don Guy off.